What is going on YouTube? It is your girl Ray and welcome back to Ray's World. On today's video, we're going to be reacting to 20 terrifying people claiming to be Jesus. It's giving why? 20 terrifying people. Only 20 because I only could do 20. I feel like 10 was enough. Before we get into the video, shout out and big ups to Discoverize, who is the original content creator and uploader of this video. And big ups to everybody joining the Ray's World gang. I see y'all and I salute. Now without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. But before I do that, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Now let's go ahead and roll it.
Вы не мнете тому глазу, который не спослан ныне Богом к вам, дабы спасило.
Get ready to be shocked and intrigued by the stories of the top 20 terrifying people who claim to be Jesus.
Here we go.
From cult leaders to self-proclaimed prophets, these individuals have captured the attention of thousands with their bizarre claims and disturbing actions. Brace yourself for a wild ride through the world of false messiahs.
Number
1. Sun Myung Moon. Sun Myung Moon, the founder of the Unification Church, claimed to be the second coming of Christ. Born in Korea in 1920, Moon allegedly had a vision of Jesus at the age of 15, who asked him to continue his unfinished work. In 1954, he established the Unification Church, which grew to have a significant following worldwide. Moon's teachings often deviated from traditional Christian doctrine, and he faced controversy due to his involvement in business ventures and political activism. He performed mass wedding ceremonies, where thousands of couples were married simultaneously, believing that he could create a new, pure lineage.
What?
Despite facing criticism and legal issues, including a tax evasion conviction in the United States, Moon continued to lead the Unification Church until his death in 2012. His claim to be the Messiah and his unconventional practices made him a notorious figure in the world of religion. Number 2. David Koresh. David Koresh, born Vernon Wayne Howell, was the charismatic and controversial leader of the Branch Davidians, a religious sect based in Waco, Texas.
I'm not even about to do this to y'all, I promise you. Discoverize, I got you. I'm not about to keep doing this to your video, I promise. Okay, just give me some, you know what I'm saying? Some little credit, a little bit. But can you imagine getting wedded as a big old concert group? Like it was it looked like thousands of people all gathered together to be wedded by this man. And at what stage did you believe that you were the Messiah? Who told you this? I'm really trying to figure out. We only at the first one. Let me stop. We only at the first one. Okay. We only at the first one. I'm gonna chill. We only at the first one. We're back.
Texas. Koresh claimed to be the final prophet and the Lamb of Revelation.
Some people find it amazing that I know every one of them.
Asserting that he had a special connection to God. He took over leadership of the Branch Davidians in the 1980s and began teaching his own interpretation of the Bible, which included the belief that he was the Messiah.
And they will drag me away and crown me with thorns, yelling, "Crucify him!"
Koresh's teachings often focused on the 7 seals from the Book of Revelation, and he claimed that he had the power to open them. In 1993, a deadly standoff occurred between the Branch Davidians and federal agents, who suspected the group of stockpiling illegal weapons. The 51-day siege ended in tragedy when a fire engulfed the compound, killing Koresh and many of his followers. The event remains a controversial and tragic moment in American history, forever linking Koresh's name with religious fanaticism and violence. Number 3. Apollo Kibaloi. Apollo Kibaloi, a self-proclaimed appointed son of God, is the founder and leader of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ Church in the Philippines. Born in 1950, Kibaloi claims to have received a divine revelation in 1985 that he was the appointed Son of God, tasked with spreading the gospel and preparing the world for the second coming of Christ. His church, which has a significant following in the Philippines and branches in other countries, teaches that salvation can only be attained through him. Kibuloy's claims of divinity have been met with skepticism and controversy, as he lives a lavish lifestyle and has been accused of exploiting his followers for financial gain. He has also faced allegations of sexual abuse and human trafficking, although he has denied these accusations. Despite the controversy surrounding him, Kibuloy's influence in the Philippines remains significant. He has close ties to politicians, including President Rodrigo Duterte, and his church's voting bloc has been sought after by candidates seeking election. His followers are known for their devotion and willingness to defend him against any criticism. Kibuloy's claim to be the appointed Son of God and his political influence make him a controversial and polarizing figure in the Philippines and beyond. His story highlights the power that charismatic religious leaders can wield and the potential for abuse when followers place unwavering faith in a single individual claiming divine authority. Number 4. Vissarion. In the heart of Siberia, a former Russian police officer named Sergei Anatolyevich Torop has gathered thousands of followers who believe him to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Known as Vissarion, he founded the Church of the Last Testament in the early 1990s after claiming to have experienced a spiritual awakening. His followers, known as Vissarionites, live in a remote community called the City of the Sun, where they adhere to a strict set of rules and beliefs.
Eat simple, modest food, which they usually grow themselves.
Vissarion's teachings blend elements of Christianity, Buddhism, and environmentalism. He claims that he is here to lead humanity into a new era of peace and harmony, and that the end times are near.
Of my father, the Bible, and as far as human development goes, I know everything.
His followers have given up their possessions and modern conveniences to live a simple communal life in the Siberian wilderness. Despite the devotion of his followers, Vissarion has faced criticism and accusations of cult-like behavior. Some former members have alleged that he manipulates and controls his followers, and that leaving the community can be difficult. Nonetheless, Vissarion's unique blend of spirituality and apocalyptic teachings continues to attract new followers seeking a different way of life. Number 5. Mirza Gulam Ahmad.
Okay, so why does it sound like all of these people have so many things that are actually going on wrong with them? Why? I don't even know what to say, because false prophets have literally triumphed this nation, and I mean the world, pretty much. So these people just I'm just trying to see what kind of crazy juice you on at you wake up and you just be like, I'm Jesus. It's just really so misleading, because when the actual Messiah comes back, the way that he said, because God said, I am the same yesterday as I am today, as I will be tomorrow. He didn't just wake up and was just like, I'm Jesus. So these people who just start claiming this and people who are following them, it's very bizarre to me. I feel like I wish I was in psychology, because I literally need to I would want to study these people, because what it's giving crazy. I already know people gonna get in the comments and start, you don't know. I don't have time for that, so don't even do that. I'm not gonna argue about my God. I'm not gonna do that. But whoo, child, Lord help us. Help us. Let me know how y'all feel about how this is going, because I just feel like they're getting worse as we keep going. As we proceed, it's just going down.
Mirza Gulam Ahmad, born in 1835 in British India, was the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. He claimed to be the metaphorical second coming of Jesus and the divine guide whose advent was foretold by the Prophet Muhammad. Ahmad asserted that Jesus had survived the crucifixion and traveled to India, where he eventually died a natural death. In 1889, Ahmad declared that he had been divinely appointed as a reformer and the promised Messiah. He argued that the prophecies about the second coming of Jesus were metaphorical, and that he had been sent to revive the true teachings of Islam and bring about a spiritual revolution. Ahmad's claims and teachings were controversial and met with opposition from Orthodox Muslim leaders. However, he gained a significant following and established a thriving community that spread to various parts of the world. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which continues to this day, emphasizes peace, tolerance, and the spiritual interpretation of Islamic teachings. Number 6. José Luis de Jesus Miranda. José Luis de Jesus Miranda, a Puerto Rican preacher, gained notoriety in the early 2000s for claiming to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Born in 1946, Miranda had a troubled youth and spent time in prison before experiencing a spiritual transformation. In 1988, he founded the Growing in Grace International Ministry, which quickly gained followers in Latin America and the United States. Miranda's teachings were controversial and unorthodox. He claimed that sin and the devil did not exist, and that his followers were free to do as they pleased without fear of divine punishment. He also taught that he was the Antichrist, not in the sense of being an evil figure, but as a messenger sent to reveal the truth and bring about a new age of enlightenment. As his ministry grew, Miranda became known for his extravagant lifestyle, which included luxury homes, cars, and designer clothing. He faced criticism for allegedly exploiting his followers for financial gain and for his unconventional teachings. In 2007, he made headlines when he claimed that he had been transformed into a divine being and was no longer subject to earthly laws. Number 7. Inri Cristo.
Antes eu pudesse proferir algumas palavras sem ser interrompido por...
Inri Cristo, born Álvaro Thaís in Brazil, claims to be the second coming of Jesus Christ. His unusual name, Inri, is derived from the acronym Jesus Nazarenus Rex Judaeorum, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews, which was inscribed on the cross during Jesus' crucifixion. Cristo asserts that he had a spiritual awakening in 1979, during which he realized his divine identity. Known for his distinctive appearance, which includes long hair, a beard, and a white robe, Inri Cristo has gained a small but devoted following. He has established a community called New Jerusalem in Brasilia, where his followers live according to his teachings. Throughout his ministry, Inri Cristo has faced numerous controversies and legal issues. He has been arrested multiple times for various offenses, including disturbing the peace and vandalism. His unorthodox teachings and claims of divinity have drawn criticism from religious leaders and the general public alike. Number 8. Ann Lee. Ann Lee, the founder of the Shakers, believed that she was the female manifestation of Christ. Born in Manchester, England in 1736, Lee experienced a series of visions that led her to believe that she had a divine mission to establish a new, pure church. In 1774, Lee and a small group of followers emigrated to America, where they established the United Society of Believers in Christ's Second Appearing, better known as the Shakers. The Shakers were known for their communal living, celibacy, and ecstatic worship, which included shaking and dancing, hence their name. Lee taught that she was the second coming of Christ, and that her mission was to lead her followers to a state of perfect holiness. She emphasized the importance of confession, celibacy, and the separation from worldly desires. Number 9. Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah, born Mirza Hussein Ali Nuri in 1817 in Persia, now Iran, was the founder of the Baha'i faith. He claimed to be the promised one foretold by all the major world religions, including the return of Christ. In 1863, Baha'u'llah declared that he had received a divine revelation, and that he was the latest in a series of messengers sent by God to guide humanity towards unity and peace. He taught that all religions were part of a progressive revelation, and that the time had come for humanity to come together in a single global faith. Baha'u'llah's teachings emphasized the oneness of God, the unity of all religions, and the equality of all people. He advocated for the abandonment of prejudice, the establishment of world peace, and the creation of a new world order based on justice and unity. Despite facing imprisonment, exile, and persecution for his beliefs, Baha'u'llah continued to spread his message and attract followers. His writings, which include the Kitab-i-Aqdas, the Most Holy Book, and the Hidden Words, form the basis of Baha'i teachings. Number 10. Wayne Bent. Wayne Bent, also known as Michael Treviser, was the leader of the Lord Our Righteousness Church, a small religious community in New Mexico. Bent claimed to be the Messiah and the embodiment of God on earth. Born in 1941, Bent had a background in Seventh-day Adventism before founding his own religious group in the 1980s. He preached that the end times were near and that he had been chosen by God to lead his followers to salvation. In 2008, Bent faced legal troubles when he was accused of sexual conduct with underage female followers. He claimed that these interactions were spiritual in nature and not, but he was ultimately convicted of criminal contact with a minor and sentenced to prison. Bent's case garnered national attention and raised questions about the line between religious freedom and child abuse. His followers, who had given up their possessions and moved to the community in New Mexico, were left to grapple with the fallout of his conviction. Number 11. Jacobin.
Okay, so like you having, let's just say, entwinement with underage girls was spiritual. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds, sir? I'm not even about to argue with that point. We all know what's right and what's wrong. I don't understand why so many people want to imitate the Lord and do so many of these things that are against what God believes. Like, honestly, like, why can't you just be a follower of Christ? Why do you have to go and false prophet yourself? Like, it's literally manipulating so many people. But I mean, I feel bad for the people who are following them. So like, I really feel like people really do need to seek the truth. Like, I may joke and stuff like that because a lot of this is comical to me. I always try to tell people, gather that information now onto your own understanding. Like, continue to seek. Like, I'm always still seeking. And, you know, I've had instances where God revealed himself to me. So I have my own relationship, which is very intimate with the Lord. So like me explaining myself to prove a point, I'm not about to do. That's for you to decide however you want to see this video or see these people. But like, if I seen somebody that is imitating Jesus, once you have that spiritual connection, it's kind of like you have discernment. So like, you can't be fooled. You'll know. It literally describes the Lord in the Bible, how he's going to be and what he's going to look like. None of these people are giving. So I just hope that y'all researching and y'all keeping y'all eyes open to what's really going on in this world. This isn't just, it just so happens all this stuff is happening. Like, there's people like this that are leading you astray just to manipulate who your actual true father is. Y'all have your own walks. That's on y'all. Like, you know, only thing I can do is pray. I don't judge y'all. I'm not God. I'm not y'all judge. You know what I mean? All I can do is pray for y'all. That's it. And just hope that you continue to seek the truth. But to each his own at the end of the day.
Jacobina Mentz. Maurer was a German-Brazilian woman who led a religious community known as the Muckers in the 19th century. She claimed to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ and attracted a devoted following. Born in 1842 in Brazil to German immigrants, Maurer had a tumultuous childhood marked by poverty and abuse. As an adult, she began to have visions and claimed to be able to communicate directly with God. In the 1870s, Maurer and her husband, João Jorge Maurer, established a religious community in the southern Brazilian state of Rio Grande do Sul. They preached a message of spiritual purity and the imminent end of the world, attracting a number of German-Brazilian families to join them. Maurer's claims of divinity and her unconventional teachings soon brought her into conflict with local authorities and the Catholic Church. In 1874, armed conflicts broke out between the Muckers and their neighbors, resulting in numerous deaths on both sides. Maurer was eventually captured and put on trial, where she was found guilty of inciting violence and sentenced to prison. She died in 1874, shortly after giving birth to her 5th child. Number 12, Jung Myung-seok. Jung Myung-seok, a South Korean religious leader, founded the Christian Gospel Mission, CGM, also known as Providence, in 1980. He claimed to be the second coming of Christ and attracted thousands of followers, primarily in South Korea and Japan. Born in 1945, Jung reportedly had a spiritual experience at the age of 16 that led him to believe he had been chosen by God for a special purpose.
성경적인 근본이에요.
He began preaching in the 1970s and gained a following among college students and young adults. Jung's teachings blended elements of Christianity, Buddhism, and Confucianism, and he emphasized the importance of complete devotion to God and the Church. He also claimed to have special spiritual powers, such as the ability to heal the sick and predict the future. However, Jung's ministry was marred by controversy and accusations of abuse. In 1999, he was accused of assaulting several female followers, and he fled to China to avoid prosecution. He was eventually arrested in 2007 and extradited back to South Korea, where he was convicted of and sentenced to prison. Number 13, An Sang-hong. An Sang-hong, a South Korean religious leader, founded the World Mission Society Church of God, WMS-COG, in 1964. His followers believed that he was the second coming of Jesus Christ. Born in 1918, An was raised in a Buddhist family, but converted to Christianity as a young adult. He became a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, but eventually left due to doctrinal disagreements. In 1964, An established the WMS-COG, teaching that he was the prophesied second coming of Christ, and that his mission was to restore the true teachings of the Bible. He emphasized the importance of keeping the Sabbath on Saturday, celebrating the Passover, and baptism in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. After An's death in 1985, his followers continued to spread his teachings and expand the church. The WMS-COG has faced controversy over its recruitment tactics and alleged exploitation of members, as well as its claim that An's wife, Zhang Giljia, is the embodiment of God the Mother. Despite the controversies, the WMS-COG has grown to have a global presence, with congregations in over 175 countries. An's legacy as a religious leader who claimed to be Christ returned continues to inspire devotion among his followers. Number 14, Moses Hlongwane. Moses Hlongwane, a South African man, claims to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ.
This is nuts.
He has gathered a following known as the Angel Ministry, or Church of the Light. Born in 1963, Hlongwane reportedly had a vision of Jesus at the age of 23, which led him to believe that he was the Son of God. He began preaching in the 1990s and attracted followers who were drawn to his charismatic personality and promises of healing and prosperity. Hlongwane's teachings blend elements of Christianity with African traditional beliefs. He claims to have the power to perform miracles, such as raising the dead and healing the sick. His followers often wear white robes and gather for outdoor worship services and prayer meetings. However, Hlongwane has faced criticism and legal troubles. In 2019, he was arrested on charges of fraud and contravening the Medicines Act for allegedly selling a miracle cure for HIV/AIDS. He has also been accused of exploiting his followers for financial gain. Number 15, Alan John Miller. Alan John Miller, an Australian man, claims to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. He founded the Divine Truth movement and has attracted a global following. Born in 1962, Miller had a spiritual awakening in 2004 that led him to believe he was Jesus reincarnated. He began sharing his beliefs online and holding seminars and workshops to spread his teachings.
I would return to them, so after my death, and I told them that I would return to them around 3 days.
Miller's teachings, known as the Divine Truth, emphasize personal spiritual growth and the idea that all individuals have the potential to become divine. He claims to have memories of his past life as Jesus and teaches that he has returned to help humanity navigate the end times and achieve spiritual enlightenment, along with his partner Mary Luck, who he claims is the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene.
I'm the truth, the idea of being completely emotionally truthful.
Miller has established a community in Queensland, Australia, where his followers can live and study his teachings. The Divine Truth movement has attracted followers from around the world, many of whom have left their families and careers to follow Miller.
Whenever I think about him now, I just cry.
Number 16, Matayoshi Jesus. Matayoshi Jesus, born Jesus Matayoshi Fuji Fontes, was a Japanese-Brazilian man who claimed to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. He gained notoriety in Brazil for his unconventional religious and political views. Born in 1945 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Matayoshi was the son of Japanese immigrants. In the 1970s, he began to preach that he was the returned Christ and started a small religious movement called World Church of Jesus. Matayoshi's teachings blended elements of Christianity, Judaism, and Eastern religions. He claimed that the end of the world was near and that he had come to establish a new spiritual order. He also ran for political office multiple times, including bids for the Brazilian presidency on a platform of religious and social reform. Despite his efforts, Matayoshi's movement never gained widespread acceptance, and he was often viewed as a fringe figure in Brazilian society. He faced criticism and ridicule for his grandiose claims and unusual behavior, such as wearing a white robe and carrying a staff. Number 17, Álvaro Thais. Álvaro Thais, a Brazilian religious leader, claims to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. He founded a spiritual movement known as Projeto Portal, Portal Project, and has attracted a following in Brazil and beyond that led him to believe he was the returned Christ. He began preaching and gathering followers, teaching a message of love, unity, and spiritual evolution. Thesis teachings blend elements of Christianity, New Age spirituality, and ufology. He claims to be in contact with extraterrestrial beings and to have knowledge of ancient civilizations and the true history of humanity. His followers believe that he has come to guide humanity through a time of great transition and spiritual awakening. Number 18.
It's the throne
Oscar
for me.
Ramiro
It's throne.
Ortega Hernandez. Oscar Ramiro Ortega Hernandez, an American man from Idaho, gained notoriety in 2011 when he was arrested for firing shots at the White House in an attempt to assassinate President Barack Obama. During his arrest and subsequent trial, it was revealed that Ortega Hernandez believed himself to be Jesus Christ reincarnated and had a history of mental illness. Born in 1990, Ortega Hernandez had a troubled childhood and struggled with substance abuse and psychiatric issues. In the months leading up to his arrest, he had become increasingly fixated on religious themes and believed that he had a divine mission to kill the Antichrist, whom he identified as President Obama. On November 11, 2011, Ortega Hernandez drove from Idaho to Washington, D.C., and fired several shots at the White House from his car. He then fled the scene, but was later arrested in Pennsylvania. During his interrogation, he claimed that he was Jesus Christ and that his actions were part of a divine plan. Number 19. Maurice Clemens. Maurice Clemens, an American felon, gained national attention in 2009 when he shot and police officers in Washington state. During his criminal history and subsequent manhunt, it was revealed that Clemens had a history of mental illness and had made grandiose claims about being Jesus Christ. Born in 1972 in Arkansas, Clemens had a lengthy criminal record dating back to his teenage years. He had served time in prison for various offenses, including aggravated robbery and assault. In the years leading up to the Clemens had become increasingly erratic and had made statements about being Jesus and believing that he could fly. On November 29, 2009, Clemens walked into a coffee shop in Parkland, Washington, and opened fire on 4 police officers who were working on their laptops. All 4 officers were killed in the attack. Clemens then fled the scene, sparking a massive manhunt that lasted for 2 days. During the manhunt, it was revealed that Clemens had a history of mental illness and had been released from jail just days before the shooting, despite concerns about his mental state. He had also made statements to friends and family about being Jesus and believing that he was being persecuted by the police. Number 20. David Shayler. David Shayler, a former British MI5 agent, made headlines in the late 1990s when he declared himself to be the Messiah and claimed to be a reincarnation of Jesus Christ. His story is a bizarre and controversial one, highlighting the fine line between religious belief and mental illness. Born in 1965, Shaler joined MI5, the United Kingdom's domestic intelligence agency, in 1991. He served as an agent for several years before becoming disillusioned with the agency's practices. In 1997, he left MI5 and began leaking classified information to the press, claiming that the agency had engaged in illegal activities.
Stopping the attack, basically. You can't take that risk. It's a bit like with Sherry, isn't it?
In the years following his departure from MI5, Shaler became increasingly involved in conspiracy theories and alternative beliefs. He claimed that the British government was controlled by a secret society and that the 9/11 attacks were an inside job.
I believe that too. There you guys have it. That was very interesting to watch. I had saw it and I was like, I could watch this by myself or I could watch this with y'all. And it feels very, what's the perfect word for it? It's like controversial. It's controversial, Ray. I don't know, it's just really kind of hard to really like voice your opinion on this because you know how YouTube is, but I just feel like people really need to seek the truth. Like, it's insane that people would even look at these people and be like, it's him. Like, why? Nothing about any of these people made me feel that way. None. So like, I don't understand why they're so heavily invested in these individuals, why they were heavily invested in these individuals. And like, it kept getting worse as we went along. I was really confused. I'm like, please let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments, because I have nothing more to say, okay? May the Lord be with you, not the force, the Lord. For those of you who have, thank you so much for watching up into the end of the video. I will be back this week with another video, different topic. We always going to be changing it up and seeing what's really going on out there to react to. I am very thankful for everyone who has been joining the channel. Big ups to y'all for real. I know I said it in the beginning of the video, but I'm going to say it now too, because I love y'all. I really do. And we're going to keep rocking out with more content. So until I said contact, why am I speaking weird today? We're gonna keep rocking it out. I will see you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace.